Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Emmanuel Sangodele, an esteemed expert in the fields of agronomy, crop breeding, and food security. As today's speaker on the topic, transforming research into revenue, Dr. Sangodele brings with him over 26 years of invaluable experience in the agricultural industry, with a remarkable career dedicated to addressing hunger and enhancing food security in West Africa and beyond. Dr. Sangodele holds a PhD in genetics and plant breeding from the University of Agricultural Sciences in Dawad, India. His expertise spans a wide range of areas from mechanized tomato production to sustainable seed system development. He has played a critical role in enhancing agricultural productivity by utilizing cutting-edge technology to boost crop yields, while also ensuring environmental sustainability. In his current role as the Chief Agronomist and Seed Specialist at Olam International, Dr. Sangodele leads a major agricultural project across West Africa. His work has been instrumental in increasing yields for crops such as maize, soybean, and tomato, which not only meets the company's raw material needs, but also provide significant economic opportunities for smallholder farmers. His leadership in developing sustainable seed system has empowered over 1 million farmers in Nigeria with access to high-quality seeds and advanced agricultural technologies. Previously, Dr. Sangodele served as the country project coordinator for the N2 Africa project, where he spearheaded initiatives aimed at improving nitrogen fixation in legume crops, thereby enhancing the productivity and sustainability of African smallholder farming. His experience also includes consulting roles with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development in Nigeria and groundbreaking research positions. Dr. Sangodele's research contributions have had a profound impact on the global scientific community. His publications covering topics such as drought tolerance in rice and yield stability in soybean have earned him recognition in the field of plant breeding and agricultural research. His innovative approach to linking research with practical, scalable solutions has not only advanced agricultural science, but also translated into tangible benefits for farmers and industry stakeholders. Beyond his professional accomplishments, Dr. Sangodele is a family man, happily married, and a proud father of 4 children. His commitment to balancing his demanding career with his family life speaks volume about his character and values. Outside of work, Dr. Sangodele enjoys music, reading, and farming. As we gather today to explore how research can effectively be transformed into revenue, there is no better person to lead this conversation. Dr. Sangodele's unique blend of academic rigor, practical experience, and passion for innovation makes him a trailblazer in the pursuit of sustainable agricultural development. Distinguished scholars, academics, and professionals, please join me in welcoming Dr. Emmanuel Sangodele. You are welcome, sir.
I want to greet you all from industry. My introduction has been made clear. Currently now, I'm the scientist supporting our product, Tasty Tom, Erika, and Jollof Mix. You may have been eating this tomato paste in Nigeria, Ghana, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, especially West Africa. So if you have taken that tomato and you are in this class, so it's the scientist that is behind the production of that tomato, from the ground, from the seed until it gets to your table. So the topic of our discussion has been made known: transforming research into revenue, best practices for industry, academia collaboration. As a way of a preamble, I wanted to take note that Nigerian research and development has gone very, very wide. A lot of job has been done, but unfortunately, it's only few of those that have been actually commercialized. The National Office of Technology Acquisition and Promotion, they have received about 1,079 patent applications from Nigerian tertiary institutions as at 2022. And they have granted 400 national patents through the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trademarks and Investments as at May 2022. When you look at the volume of work across all our institutions and the number of universities, Polytechnic, College of Educations, and other research institutions we have in the country, you will discover that the number here is a little bit far lower than what we expect to have. Let's look at the profile of Nigeria in trademarks, patent, and design application in the last 5 years. Research product in Nigeria are supposed to have gone beyond what we have in the registry of the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade, and Investment. Because I need to compare this with international patents that have been filed in recent time, trademarks and design. You discover that the number is still very low. But out of this number, it will surprise you to note that it's only few of those developed technology that can be commercialized. And that is the reason why this very particular webinar will be very, very important to you to look at those areas. Why? Nice job, good publications, excellent defense, and students are getting first class. Sometimes 100 first class in the university, 200, 150, 50, and so many first class products coming out of beautiful research of our scientists. But how many of those outputs are actually getting into industry? So this is a concern for me and you, which we are going to diagnose in this very discussion. So I go straight to the crop, which is agriculture, which are base. Up to 2016, we are able to release 581 varieties from 35 crops. And these are the ones that is in the public domain. I consulted with my colleague in the NAGRAP to update my record. Before this time, I was not able to get the update. So between 2016 and 2024, there are some little updates. But when you look at it, since we started research in the country, we still have less than 1,000 varieties that have been released of different crops. And out of these 581, let me tell you for free, it's only few that have been commercialized, among which we have a few varieties of soybean that have been commercialized. I mean that industry have actually taken as their own, and whoever is the scientist that is has developed that technology is benefiting from. It's only a few. It's only a few. That is as for agriculture. Let's look at the European patent application in last year only. About 199,275 applications have been filed for 1 year. And the breakdown has been, as you can find in the slides. Germany, about 12.5, France, about 5.4%, Switzerland, 4.7, Netherlands, 3.5, United Kingdom 3%, then Sweden 2.6, Italy 2.5, then other European countries put together 8.7. These are what European patent application for European people. But look at other countries. US has filed 24.2% of this 199,275. Japan has filed 10.8, China 10.4, Korea 6.3. When you talk of Africa and all other countries that has never, that we have not mentioned now here, they all come together under others. All their patents put together account for 5.3%. Then you begin to wonder, where are the products of our research? So, and why most research output don't go beyond our reference library shelf? I've outlined those points one after the other, and I would like to discuss it in this webinar. I want you to listen attentively, and if the host allow question and answer, we'll be able to attend that as well at the end of the presentation. One of the first things that limited our research product into shelf is the culture of publish or perish in our institution. Academic pressure that prioritize publishing research over commercialization is one of the barriers. I will tell you more about the culture of industry so that we know where academic culture and industry culture differ. And it is in this area of difference that we need to balance in this webinar to be able to attract grants that will meet the two, because you will do yourself a lot of goods to have worked very hard, and that your hard work will earn you money, resources. And this is what we are looking at. The next reason why most research don't go beyond our library is the risk of aversion, fear of failure or uncertainty about market success. The product of your research, we don't know whether market will absorb it. It has not been tried at commercial level, so industry will be scared. The next reason is lack of support infrastructural deficits in our various institutions who constitute a kind of threat or barrier to commercialization of our research. Some of the research that could have been fine-tuned, that the data generated in the process will have been subjected to commercial ideology and proof and test and trusted and sent into the investors' hand to pump in money. Because of lack of support infrastructure, they are unable to reach that very particular high level. The other point is value of debts. The funding gap between research funding and the commercialization funding. Most of our scientists, you get grants for research outputs. And once the output is delivered vis-a-vis the grant that is in your hands, then scaling that research into the level that the industry will show interest as to put it into a fund generating entity, then it becomes a challenge. The next is lack of interdisciplinary collaboration. Inadequate collaboration between researchers, industrial experts, and also entrepreneurs. Let me tell you at this point that most of the time we have very good idea, But you need to carry industry and entrepreneur, you need to carry them along in your research in order for them to actually bring in their inputs into your outline on your schedule of research or area of your focus, so that by the time the output is delivered, it will meet the taste of industry as well as that of the entrepreneur who want to pump his money into it. The next reason is lack of industrial insights. Research may not fully understand industry demands. Industry wants to make gain. Researcher want to publish paper. And then if you don't have full understanding of this, your product may not sell. The next reason why research output don't go beyond academic reference library shelf is research not industry relevant. Research may be addressed to solve a particular problem, but the need of industry are not taken into consideration. So they don't take industry needs into their consideration in designing such their research. The other one is a issue of intellectual property issue, patent licensing challenges that may hinder commercialization. This used to happen, especially where there are some legal issue that may come as a result of whatever innovation you have brought up. So it also affects commercialization. Take, for example, we at Olam, we will not want to fund any research products that have intellectual property issue until all those legal battles, legal barriers are clear, and we evaluate your research products. It is then we'll be able to take it forward from there. I cite an example of a tasty tom. The particular hybrid of tomato I'm using now currently, we want to ensure that it is released in Nigeria according to the law of the land. And then the breeder has to come and work and make everything to pass through all the process of evaluation under this very particular, under a particular department in the Ministry of Agri, until the crop is released in the public domain for people like us to begin to sign any MOU with any breeder or scientist to use our product. That is also an issue that it can be handled. Next is a regulatory hurdle. I've already discussed that. Difficulty in navigating the regulatory approval and compliance. The next one is limited industrial connection. Poor networking or collaboration with industry partners is also another challenge. Most universities feel, well, once I publish my paper, that's all. But after you have published your paper, the product of what you have published can earn you money. The next is lack of entrepreneurial spirit. Researchers may not have the drive or support to commercialize their work. So I will talk more on this lack of entrepreneurial spirit along the line as we go in the other subsequent slide that will come. Now let's look at other barrier why most research output don't go beyond academic reference library shelf is communication barrier. Language and cultural differences between academic and industry can lead to misunderstanding. Sure, we have a researcher there in the university, polytechnic, colleges of education, research institutions, and many private individual scientists operating, and they are developing technology. Their aim may primarily be, wow, I want to publish 10 papers because I want to go for my promotion. I want to do this. I want fame. I want legacy. I want many things. But industry culture is different from that. Industry want to see, I put in 30 million of naira. Take, for example, our factory in Kaduna, we put in 152 million US dollar, 152 million US dollar to put those factory in place. We need maize. We need corn. We need. I hope you are hearing me. Please let me hear a response, host.
You are very audible, sir.
Very good. So we need a lot of inputs, and scientists have worked on this, and they have already developed technology for it. But we are saying that we are into animal feeds and protein. Whenever you want to develop your soya bean, increase the content of protein inside it, because we need this very particular material to sell, to win the heart of the buyer in the market who are rearing fish and who are rearing poultry. We want to develop, we want them to also make a lot of money. We want to produce millions and billions and trillions of the bags of our feeds, chicken feeds or Eco Float or Blue Crown, to release into the public domain for use. But researchers may look at it as increasing the protein content of this variety will reduce the yield. So he's thinking for himself, if I'm able to increase the yield and then I publish in Nature, in Science, I am okay. But if he puts the culture and the understanding of the industry into play, and he design what the industry will take, for which the money will begin to trickle into his bank account, I think that is where we need to put a kind of understanding. So the next is trust and credibility. Building trust and establishing credibility with industry partner, it takes time. We in industry, do you know the way we look at you scientists? We look at you, especially, let me use example of a crop breeder. They are all here playing plenty in this class. The crop breeder, they will say they have developed a variety. They will plant 100 by, maybe they will plant 20 by 20 meter, and they will replicate it 3 replication. They will do a different type of design, randomize, complete block design, and then they will calculate, they will analyze, and then eventually they will say, oh, this variety is the highest yielding variety. But industry will not see it that way. They don't trust that. Industry want to take that variety you tell all that is the highest yielding, that has all the protein we are looking for. They want to try it on 1,000 hectares. Can it outperform the rest? So this is where we need to research in such a way that that trust will come up. Because by the time we carry most of what the scientists has published paper on, and we test them on when we scale them up, sometimes it doesn't go the way they think they reported it. The next is conflicting profile. But priority, conflicting priority. Researcher may not prioritize, may prioritize publishing research over collaborating with industry. So see, since your aim and your goal is to publish whatever you want to publish from your research, then there is no need to collaborate with the industry. It's also a barrier. It's also a barrier. Cultural differences. This is where I need to also take small breath and tell you what is the cultural differences between academic and industry. Academic culture is publish or perish. Industry culture is profits or perish. So somebody with publish and perish ideology is different from the school of profits or perish. He put 150 million US dollar. If you don't make profits, then the company is closed. You perish from there. So these are two contrasting things we need to know. So then scientists need to balance these two. While you strive to publish paper, you should also design into your research or experiment that what I'm going to deliver as the output product of this research must be able to generate profit if somebody puts in his money. So please, these cultural differences is one of the major barriers we need to crush before we'll be able to transform our research into revenue. The next is lack of a clear goal. Unclear expectation and goal can hinder effective collaboration. The last but not the least in this slide of why most research output don't go beyond the academic reference library shelf is no clear benefit. Industry partner may not see the benefit of collaborating with academia because by the time we bring our culture, you take your culture above our own culture. Okay, you say you need 1 million US dollar for this research, and we are willing to give, but your interest is to publish your paper. So where is the benefit of the man that put the 1 million? So you are unable to deliver. This also is a barrier. To overcome this barrier to commercializing research product, what researcher can do are so many. So I just listed about 6 here, which I will also look at with you. Number one, you need to encourage interdisciplinary collaboration. You are a plant breeder, bring in other colleagues in different area and different field. Bring an industrialist into it. Bring an entrepreneur into your team of investigators. If you are an engineer, you bring in some other field industrialist and entrepreneur into that research design. It will help you to be able to come up with something that will generate fund. Number two, you need to provide entrepreneurship training and support in your research. So there should be that kind of thinking that even when you are writing for your grants, is an item you can budget for. Training of trainer, so that you'll be able to gather entrepreneurs together and be able to sell your idea, and then themselves will be able to help you to disseminate whatever technology you develop. Then also foster industry partnership and networking. So you need to ensure there is good relationship between you as a researcher in your base there in the university, polytechnic or college of education or research station with industrial partner. So there is need for you to foster that kind of partnership. Then offer funding and resources for commercialization. You may develop a product from, if let's say for agriculture, you may develop a product from a plot size of 20 by 20 meter. There is need for you to go and try the output of 20 by 20 meter on hectare. Your 3 replication in 20 by 20 meter farmland that you demonstrated, you tested in one small plot of land, and then you say, okay, let them go and replace the same design in Ibadan. They got the same result. Let them go and do it in Mudike. They got the result. Let's go and do it in India. They got the same result. In London, they got the same result. And you generalize it that, yes, this is good to go, that investors will bring his money. It may not go that way. So there must be a research to commercialize your product. Develop technology transfer office and incubator. So you need to set up an incubation center. So, and this we go with our university various departments, that as an institute, there is need to develop this. Let me share my experience with you in my last project, Into Africa, when I was in IITA. So we look at it. Look, crop need nitrate to increase yield. And nitrate is component of oxygen and nitrogen. But crop doesn't have the ability to take these two air and mix it and get it into nitrate, which it require, and be producing and be getting the yield that we are looking at. But we look at a bacteria, Rhizobium japonicum, and we said, this bacterium live in the root nodule of legumes. And we have studied the symbiotic effect and many things there. This bacteria is a factory that manufacture nitrate from oxygen and nitrogen that is in the air. It will generate nitrate in the root nodules, which the crop will take up to increase yield. And we have done this on our 20 by 20 research, replication and all the rest. And we discovered that bacteria alone in the root nodule has the potential capability of increasing the yield by 20%. So we tested it on a soybean, and it works. And we said, yes, this is opportunity. That led to development of incubation center in IITA in the 2014, 15, 2016 thereabout. And then there we develop it into a product. We call it Inodumax. Then across the country, that product, we took it onto farmers' field in their hectares, thousands of hectares, to go and evaluate. And when we evaluated, we confirmed that yes, it has the capacity of improving soybean yield by 20%. So it is through that very technology hub we are able to do what we do. As I speak to you, that technology hub is still there in IITA generating that inoculant. Researcher can also emphasize market-focused research. So whatever your product you want to develop, look at the interest of market. Because market, you cannot just run away from it. From there, the fund will come. What is their taste? What do they want? Take, for example, you may have tasted our tasty tomato paste. But if you actually want to cook a jollof rice, Nigerian jollof rice, just go for our jollof mix. You don't need any other thing to add. You just add salt and see what that product will give to you. So that is looking at what the taste of market is all about and what do they want. And then you put it inside your research plan. How do you transform your research into revenue? As you do your research, spend time. You want to spend money on your invention or idea. Number one thing you need to do, you make sure somebody else has not already created it. Because it will amount to exercise in futility when you are doing something that somebody has already done. Before you get to market, market is already saturated with your products. But it may not be so with the culture of publish and perish. Institution may still accept it for your student to graduate and something of that nature. But you need to make sure somebody else has not done the work. We are researching to turn it into revenue. Just like I share with you now that, oh, there is ample supply of nitrogen that occupy over 70% of the air that we breathe. And oxygen is also there. But we need a factory in the root of legumes to convert this very air into a product, into fertilizer for plant growth. And then before we begin to think here and there, we have looked through to check that there is no such product in the markets. And that's how it finds its way to the market. Also, do some market research to determine whether there is actually a demand for your products or idea. To help, these are the first question you will answer. So before you start sharing your plan, when you have developed the products with too many strangers, patent or license your research to prevent others from using it without your permission. You can file your trademark or your patents or your design in Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. And the website I provided it. And I think I will need to share this because of those who have need of those websites after the webinar. If you want to really commercialize your research and development results and your invention, you also need to contact National Office of Technology Acquisition and Promotion of the Federal Ministry of Science and Technology. Their contact, their login is also there. These are online services you can get help from. So do your research and follow this advice that I give you. The end result, you'll be able to transform your research into revenue. I wouldn't want your story to be like the story that the host has told us. Though many publications, but the take home is not much. And it's unable to do what it desires to do. You have labored, you have worked. As you do your research, all these small suggestions we are giving to you here will help you to motivate you to be able to have a second thought about it, that it's not all about publication. It's all about a publication and also to generate revenue out of it. When you have developed your research products, you need to develop a business plan. Outline your strategy for commercialization, including product marketing and sales. You need to summarize a kind of business plan and goal. Emphasize the potential impacts and return on investment. So if you are not sure where to start, you can arrange appointment with a SCORE. SCORE is a non-profit organization through which business people volunteer to mentor, and they can advise small businesses from a researcher, and they can help you to link up for a startup. So you need to develop that plan. After you have developed your plan, you also need to make a prototype of your products. Maybe your research has developed a kind of bulb that will give us about maybe 3,000 watts, but it will use very small current to generate it. And there is nothing like that in the market. So you need to make a prototype. At this point, it is time to turn your idea into reality. You need to build a prototype. And depending on your invention, you may be able to construct a prototype yourself, or you may need to get some help somewhere that will help you to be able to develop the prototype. So you can find some suggestion or some help in making prototype from entrepreneur.com or startupnation.com. All these websites will link you up to where you can make your prototype. Then after you are make your prototype, you need to subject it to a kind of test and evaluation of others. And you need to get feedback from beta tester, those who will test it. Maybe you are developing a particular, we are eating too much in Nigeria, from rice, from maize, from yam, from cassava, and you are able to develop a kind of swallow that is quite different from the one that we have now that carry a lot of sugar, that people who are diabetic are running away from. Your own product should be that kind that everybody will love, and especially those who doesn't like to take sugar. You need to subject that type of product onto a kind of tester, those who will look at it. So once you are happy with your prototype, find some people willing to try it out. These are people we call as beta tester. You say, oh, my soya bean has the protein that you need. Many scientists have come to me from Illinois. They have come from all over the world, and they have thrown their research output at me. Look at this. Can we commercialize it? And then by the time we also do our in-house evaluation and analysis, sometimes we find out that what they told us about what product they brought may not be the same. They have recommended that, okay, maize is difficult. There is many threats to maize now. This worm, this other one, this stop it. Can't we use sorghum? Can't we use millet? And then they brought millet, they brought sorghum. We got into the laboratory, we analyzed, we discovered that the ingredients we are looking for that are present in the maize, they are not there. So we are the tester. So if we test it and we find out that, oh, what you said you are brought inside this is there, then you are in money. So these are some of the things. So once you are happy with your prototype, subject it to a beta tester to help you. You also need to get feedback from beta tester that can not only lead to products or service improvements, but it also help when it is time for you to find investor. So you need to rather gather those feedback from a beta tester. It will help you to be able to validate your assumption. It will help you to identify area of improvement. I hope my colleagues are hearing me. I need a response.
Very well, sir.
Thank you very much. So you need to enhance users' experience and increase the product adaptation so that people will be able to adopt your product. Then, after you have gotten feedback from beta tester, find investors. Find some deep pockets who are willing to pay for large-scale development of your plans. So some popular investor networks and platforms, they include AngelList, Crunchbase, even NoTap, that's in Nigeria here, they can help you to be able to link you up with where deep pockets can really fund your prototype, and then you begin to generate money from yourself. Then locating private investor can be a challenge. Rather than finding one or two people able to invest large sum or cash, consider startup fundraising platform. You can log on to the fundable.com. Be able to. It is very good that you actually feed from your labor. So it is very, very important. And after you have done that, make millions. This is where our how I wish that our story, the person that you can listen to this, my uh, last slide here, to be able to know what he can do. When you have developed all what you have developed, tested, trusted technology, tested, trusted idea, tested, trusted everything that you have done, be prepared to answer questions like, what problem does your product solve in the markets? What is the market size and growth potential? How does your product differ from competitors' own? What are your revenue projection and cost structure? What is the expected return on investment? If we are able to answer these questions, then you continue to make a million. In 2019 to 2020, towards that period of COVID, I was carrying a research in the entire Northwest where we can grow tomato. I'm going to this governor. They say, okay, go to this place. I go there. I want to go to. I finally went to Jigawa State. I met the governor. Sir, we want to come and produce our tasty tomato fruit in your state. We moved and visited, investigated soil, ecology, bio, and DAFIC. And we finally result in one place. One day I told him that, sir, the yield of tomato in Nigeria, I hope you are hearing my story.
Sir.
Are you
We are
hearing my
hearing,
story?
sir.
I'm cut off?
We are hearing, sir.
Okay. So I told the governor that I'm here in your state because we want to increase the yield of tomato by 2. At least if as at that time the yield of tomato is around 20 tons per hectare. So we want to increase it to 40. So he told me that day that if you are able to do this, then we are out of the wood. So it took me 3 years to evaluate some hybrids. And eventually we attained that 40 tons per hectare. On a commercial scale, I'm telling you the truth. As I speak to you now, our yield is 53 tons per hectare. Now, what people, when they put their money, they get 20 tons. I'm getting times 2.5 thereabouts. The same money they put is the one that my company will put in production, and eventually we will have return on our investment. So there is revenue projection and cost structure that I have developed that is supporting this very operation. So these are things that I expect all the researchers and scientists who want to turn their research into revenue to have at the base of their mind, that they should be able to answer some of these questions and respond to it positively. And then, what is the expected return on investment? So it's not difficult for me to tell my company, hey, look, if you put this money, because we are increased the yield by 2.5, that's 150%. Therefore, if you put in this amount, this is what we get, and this plus this and this. So, it will not be difficult to pump as much as the money that is required. You just imagine. Every local government has tasty tom in Nigeria, 774 local governments. And we are producing. You don't see how that will turn to revenue. an investment. So this kind of thing, we attract an investor pumping their resources. It is time for you to enjoy the fruit after we have labored. Sell that very grand idea to an existing business for millions and live the good life using the proceed from the quadrillion scale you make in the first year. Take, for example, you can sign a bond that, look, this product, the next 10 years, I will take 10% of the profits that you will generate. That can only be what you will sign. You know, some university, maybe other research institution also, if scientists get a grant into the institute, they will tell you that pay 10% into the cover of the authority. Use the remaining 90% for your research. Grant writer understand this, and they know that the money that come into the university accounts, they don't get all the 100% of it back. The same thing ought to be when you develop a product and you hand it over into industry. You need to dictate to the industry to say, come, this is the percentage I'm going to get in the first 10 years of this. After 10 years, I leave the rest for you to. And if you gather that money in 10 years, it's more than your 35 years of research of published and perished technology. So I thank you all for this meeting.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Doctor, in fact, like our sister said, your presentation is a very big eye opener, but I have a little worry. Personally, an emotional and mental health education, working in health education departments of the University of Nigeria and Nsukka. How do I transform my research outputs into revenue? I've been thinking about it as you were talking. I kept pondering and thinking on how it can be done. I will tell you something that came to my mind after you've answered my question. Thank you, sir.
How I wish you tell me what is in your mind. I will help you to develop it into revenue generating opportunity.
It's all right. I will do that right now. Thank you very much. I, as a mental health educator, my area of interest is in anxiety and depression. You know, this is the problem we all have. I'm sure if all of us are tested, I will have a lot of clients here, you know. So, but I did a work on quality of life and psychological distress among infertile women. And in that psychological distress, I looked at anxiety and depression. The work is done. I want to even publish it, and I want to do it in such a way that it will be different. I don't know the sugar, pepper, and everything I'll add on it. But in the course of that research, because I was passionate about it, apart from, it was a mixed method though, apart from just giving them questionnaires to answer, each of those participants, I took time to counsel them. I took time to give them counseling, even though it's not part of what I came to do. And I realized that it yielded a wonderful, output. So I now want to know how I can transform that work in a way that it can generate revenue.
For the wonderful presentation. Mine is, I don't know whether it's an appropriate question for the presenter, but we'll be happy if he can also respond. I've received a number of emails regarding my publisher papers where they will want to have a call with me, online call, that what they do is they convert what you have published into like a video, so that for better understanding of people who are not the audience, who are not technical audience, that will understand what I have published. So sometimes they will say like audio, they can convert, they make an audio of it for the other audience to understand what I have published. I don't know whether all these things are necessary or they are a way of generating revenue if such audience can be granted.
Okay, thank you very much for these two questions. Let me start with the mental health research scientist. I see you already swimming in billions of dollars.
Amen.
If you have solution to mental health, what you need to do is to develop the real idea. Is your solution going to relieve people of mental health? You yourself, you need to be very sure. And once you are sure of this, what is your sample space that from where this experiment has been carried out, whether it's hospital that you have captured data from?
It's hospital. It's
How
hospital.
many respondents vis-a-vis the population of Nigeria, 200 million? Then
I use 211.
211.
Yes, sir.
Which means one person is representing 1 million. So that data is not sufficient enough to confirm the output of that very particular experiment. So what you need to do is, I know it is because of the limited resources that led to that 201 sample space. You need to approach the like of Bill and Melinda Gates, World Bank, Dangote Foundation. These are powerful agency, funding agency, very close to you. You send in your concept notes to them and then tell them to let us scale up this research. You are able to take very good number of people in Nigeria and develop that idea. I can tell you, it will result in revenue. So when that idea is done, it can come up in this way. Whether you will develop a very small, something that will look like a pager. The electronics department will assist you, the scientists in the electronic and multimedia and electrical engineering, drag them into this research. Because they need to develop a small robot. Maybe they will attach it to what doctors are using to measure them, or they will use this equipment and it will transmit data into your database, result into your database. If you contact me on one-on-one, I can help you to formulate a concept note. You get that equipment, then we locate all the federal medical center in the country. Then you gather data, and when that data is submitted to you, you analyze it and be able to come to a very meaningful conclusion and be able to provide that solution that will be tested and validated. And once that is done, I can tell you, you are in money. So that is the way I feel you have a very good idea. because mental health is an issue. You will see somebody will just grow annoyed. He can break his window at any time. Somebody will be so annoyed that he will be crying. He is ready to kill, but after some time, this thing will just go down. What is the cause? And you have solution. And you are sitting down there in university publishing. You will not publish to perish in the name of Jesus. So please, I want to suggest that you scale up that research. More work needed to be done before we can take it to where thinking you can take it to. On the brother that have done good work, you have done your research products, and some people are calling you, let us help you to repackage it. Don't mind them, my brother. They want to steal your technology, and they will feed fat on it, while they will just pay you a peanuts. So see how you can work on this technology to develop it. Go and register patents on that very particular idea. If it is trademark, if it is a technology, if it is design, go and register it and get the license that this is developed by you. After that, you can now release it to them. And we'll be watching where they are using it and where they are getting the money from, whatever they are getting. You just launch a legal battle with them, you will take your share. If you have not done that, don't release your research product to anybody who is calling you online, praising you for the good job you have done. It doesn't work that way. You can generate a lot of money like that. I share with you the story of rice. No, I'm a rice scientist. There is this aromatic rice that is native to India. So it finds its way to America. We call it basmati in India. He got to America, and when he got to America, they tried in America to probably to develop it more to suit the environment, and then they release it by a company. They call the name Tesmatic rice. So, and they are making cool money out of it. So when Indians got to know this, they just sue them to court. Indians receive millions of US dollars for their products because Indian has already genotyped all their basmati rice. So when they got to court, they asked the other man to bring their polymorphic data for that very basmati rice. India brought their polymorphic data for the basmati rice, and they call a plant breeder a geneticist. Those who are skilled in genomics, then they look at those genes one by one vis-a-vis one another, is 100% match. That's how they won the battle. So whatever you develop is your product. Try and register it. So I don't know whether I attended to the two questions.
Thank you so much, Doctor. We are grateful. That is our facilitator, Dr. Sangodele Emmanuel Ademola, the Chief Agronomist and Seed System Specialist. We are grateful. Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thank you so much, Moderator Ma. Before we come up with our question and answer, I think it is pertinent we give honor, vote of thanks already to our facilitator. So we'll bring up our director in the person of Dr. Wazani Dauda. Please, sir, you have the floor.
All right. Good morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on which part of the country you are or world now. I don't know if I'm audible, please.
Yes, we can hear you.
Sir.
Yeah, I want to, with all sense of deep humility, to really appreciate our distinguished facilitator. I mean, when we first tried to reach him, I remember the first thought in my mind was, how available is he, because he's quite a very, very busy personality, and I've accomplished both in the research in the industry and all. And I mean, to have people like that with us is not just a privilege, but a really great honor that on behalf of the H Board of Directors, Board of Studies, I want to sincerely appreciate you, sir. Thank you for taking out your time. Thank you for sharing with us all the depths and the everything that we, as all the researchers on this platform, could learn from. The interesting thing with age is it's all encompassing. I mean, we have people from various disciplines, various areas, and we try to bring in those exposures, bring in distinguished personalities to share their knowledge, their wealth of experience, so that researchers can implement. And I think that's a take home here. He has spoken a lot about the implementation of all that we have. And also, I want to really, really commend and appreciate you, sir, and really, really urge all the researchers that are here. I was so happy when he was answering the last question about someone receiving messages to send your thesis for publication. I mean, that is likely either Lambert or one of those very common. I don't want to use the word predatory, but they are not, or they are not things that a distinguished scholar should be interested in. The funny thing is that once you have published a paper, like you published any paper, and your email is on the database of a journal, you keep receiving emails on your spam mails everywhere. You keep receiving send this. It will eventually end in pay some amount of money to do that. So I was really happy with the response, and it's now left for us to really take heed to all that our distinguished personal professor have said. And I really wish to thank you so much, sir. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And I really urge us to please stay true and listen to the answers to the question, because sometimes it's during the interactive sessions that you get brighter light to your questions. Thank you so much, everyone, for spending your afternoon with us. We deeply appreciate that. Thank you.
My name is Dr. Olufunke Ajiboye from Christian University. I want to seize this opportunity once again to appreciate our facilitator. And in fact, he thought the presentation really touched me on the area of transforming the research into revenue. During my PhD work, I worked on investigation on the effects of exercise training. I'm a physiotherapist by training, by profession. I work on the effects of exercise training in improving the functional capacity and quality of life of individuals with chronic heart failure. And it was an innovative research indeed that has won many awards. But I just realized, because one of my recommendations after the project was that cardiac rehabilitation centers should be instituted in at least 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. But the thing has been lying fallow without having much effect on the community, because my research was the first to be done in Africa on chronic heart failure patients. Normally, they put them on medication, and then the life expectancy of the sufferer of heart failure is less than 12 years before they die eventually. But it happens to be that I was a survivor of chronic heart failure before I even decided to do this project work. And in putting exercise training into my treatment, then really enhanced my quality of life. And for the past 22 years that I had the issue, I'm still alive, bubbling with life up till now. But the thing is this, can you help me? What can I do to put patency on this, and then to register the trademark, and then to turn it around for revenue? So that's the reason why I'm asking. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Lufunke. Before our facilitator answer the question, there's a question in the chat box that is just related to that question. So I would like to just read it out. The question says, how can I register my patent? Then 2, what government agency is in charge? Thank you, sir. Sir, you can go ahead.
Well, thank you very much. For registration of patents, trademark and design is very simple. I've shared my slide with Dr. Wasani. I think he will make it available and share with you. The website is there for registration of your patents. And if it is trademark, maybe a difference between patent and trademark is that you want to commercialize it yourself. Therefore, you design a kind of logo that will be attached to your products. So whether your face, whether your name, you may design like what our sister said now of the therapeutic treatment through exercise. Maybe you have a kind of app that you develop that people need to download in their Android phone, and that app is a kind of tutorial based on your research findings to educate the larger community to be able to use exercise as additional treatment for the heart disease. So you want to put a kind of trademark on that apps, you need to go and register it. And you will consult Federal Ministry of Trade and Industry and Investment. They will guide you. In fact, it's online. You just apply. Once you get to the page, then you log in. After you log in, you file in your patent, or if it is trademark, or if it is design. It can be a design. Look at the doctor who has a good idea on mental health. Then electronic engineer can design something that will be able to capture data of mental health patients in the country and disseminate recommendation to their phone immediately based on her own solution. And that individual that individual problem will be solved. So what you need to do, if you have developed technology, either idea or innovation, or it will even be a physical construction, you are able to come up with something. So you need a prototype of it if it is physical, things that we can handle, maybe machine you have developed, the vehicle that is using water, and then you want the whole country to know about it, to register, then you put your trademark on that vehicle, maybe IMA can be your trademark. You apply for the patent. Since there is no vehicle that is using water in the country, but you are able to come up with one. So that you will get it done in Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment. So that is how to go about it. So I don't know whether I attended to those questions.
Yes, from my side, I'm grateful, sir, for your input. I was thinking in line of maybe establishing cardiac rehabilitation center for searching for the sponsor to assist me financially to be able to get that done, apart from creating apps and etc. like that.
Yes, you can get that done, but first of all, you need to register it and own a patent. So then you can discuss with investor. Like I mentioned, Dangote Foundation. I also mentioned Bill and Melinda Gates. Bill and Melinda Gates support medicine, health research, and agriculture. I myself have submitted proposal with other colleagues of mine that have attracted millions of US dollar into Nigeria on our agricultural research before now. So you will surely get help. But first of all, the product you are going to flank and show to the donor agency, you have to own it. Owning it first is your necessary thing you need to do. And by
Thank you so
owning
much.
it means you register it. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, sir, for the response. There is a question in the chat box, and the question says, my question is to know from your view, what is best method for a researcher with a viable research findings? How can I develop a good investment profile that will convince potential investors and funders to partner in commercialization of that research work? So I'm going to give room to one person to ask his questions. Ayeni Deborah, please go ahead with your question.
Thank you very much. I want to appreciate the presenter so much. The presentation was very apt and impactful. But it's like the presentation is for those who are in the science, the pure science, the medical, the other thing. But my question is, how about those of us in the social sciences, humanity, education? How do we turn our researches into revenue opportunity? This is my question, because I've been hearing it. My heart was elated. This is an opportunity, but I didn't hear anything about the social sciences, the behaviorists, and then the humanity. So please, sir, I want you to enlighten me how I can turn my various researches that I've had into revenue opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We'll combine the two together, they are almost the same. Education, art, science, they are research that will fetch you more money than science. Let's go to education. Do you know our problem in the country now? That Boko Haram and bandits has taken over our country is as a result of the quality and the education problem we have in the country. If everybody is well trained at the primary school level, at the kindergarten level, at the secondary school level, at the university level, you won't find them collecting just 5,000 naira to go and kill somebody. If you hear story of some of these arrested Boko Haram and bandits, it's mega money they are paying them. The real person that is sharing the money, he is not carrying the gun. So, but if you are able to develop an education system, maybe your own is maybe 4-5-4 system. You first of all go and register that education ideology and principle, and you have a tested and trusted way by which we can educate our children from primary school to secondary school to university level, that will remove these social vices from community. That is what government is looking for. I can tell you for free, if you have a proven curriculum that you can develop to solve that problem, go and register it in Federal Ministry of Trade and Industry. They are the one that we ask you to go to Ministry of Science, Federal Ministry of Science, where they will link you with policymaker and the budgets to implement what you said we solve our problem we come from. And if you want to go into private, there are so many NGOs in some of these distressed states that are looking for solution. How can they solve problem in IDP? And you have special education curriculum and idea, and you have come up with products that can be developed in IDP camp that will train these people and return them back to their own area where they came from. I think you have something that can earn you a lot of money.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can get your contact, sir, so that I can, contact you for further guidance, sir.
Yeah, I know your team, the hate team will provide all the necessary contacts.
Thank you so much, sir. We are very much grateful.
Allowed to just ask my question.
I think I'll just call on only one person more because of our time.
Why be allowed,
Raising my hand.
Abdullah Khalid. I've written down people's name before now, so I'm so sorry if I've not called you.
Yeah.
Abdullah Khalid, are you there?
No.
Yes, I am. Hello, I'm on.
Yes, you are audible. Go ahead.
Okay, no, I already asked my question.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Then let me call Austin. Austin, is Austin there? All right. Jalili Tiamiu.
Hello, good afternoon. Can we hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity. Dr. Sangodele, I really appreciate your message. And it is so insightful, and it has given a lot of knowledge, insight to the listeners, and we really appreciate it. My question goes back. When you said that we have to take our research to testers or testing, I'm also looking at it that is it not possible for testers to also grab this knowledge from us and escalate it, probably also using this knowledge revenue. So at what stage do we start this patent? Is it immediately after research is done? Or I don't just know when we start with the patent, because once you are done with it and you get your file, you immediately go for it. Because you are not justifying your result with other results or test it to know if it is actually done something that you can actually patent. So, sir, please can you enlighten us at what stage you can actually start this trademark patent and the rest? Thank you so much, sir.
The time to file your patent is when you have done your research. That research we call publish or perish. When you have got that product that you are intending to subject to commercial evaluation, is at that point you need to get the patent. You need to apply. In most countries, it doesn't attract cost because they are already waiting. They are waiting for you. So they will encourage you, they will help you to register it that this idea is developed by Jalili Tamiyu. And they will now file it in the registry, announce it in the public that if anybody has developed anything before we register this man ideology, come up within 21 working days to challenge it that you have developed this and you have registered it before him. If there is no such person to counter you, it will be registered. It is at that point you will take it to industrial experts. So whether they test it, they now say, oh, it's not viable for industrial commercialization, is not anything you have lost, because You have already published your paper, which is one of your primary aim as a university done. Then this other one that say, okay, they doesn't meet our need, they will tell you what actually is missing in that need that is not being met. I've been privileged to meet several scientists in agriculture who have developed products, and they are flank it at me, say, look, your company will need this. I say, yes, but does it have this plus this plus this, which is the standard of my company? So if the answer is yes, they say, okay, let's go and evaluate it. And then we evaluate and confirm that it is like that, then we go with it. If we confirm that it's not like that, then we will not be able to carry on with it. Or if we evaluate it and then we know that it gives us what, then whatever, how much you say we should buy it, since we don't have any other alternative, that is the much we are going to pay you. Eh? So that is how it works. So first registered it and then discuss with the investor. I don't know whether I've attended to you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir. I would like to ask you, sir, can we go on with the question? Although our time is fast spent, but I wouldn't know.
If there are still some questions, let's attend to it. It's an opportunity for those who ask questions to maybe that will change their understanding of their research approach. So I will be willing to attend to it. And there are other scientists here also that I expect them also to contribute.
Yes.
So I expect everybody who have one thing or the other to add, because it's a dialogue. Yeah. I'm bringing industrial expertise here. Okay. We need the academic expertise also to come in between. That would be very wonderful.
Yeah.
So the two culture, I've mentioned the two culture at the industry at our level here. Our culture is profit or perish.
And for academia,
publish or perish. So my own PP side is it is from the angle at which I'm responding to you. So the other PP can also come in now, whether we can also understand where there are variances in our opinion. So maybe some of the reason why we throw away your research at industrial level, whether people like me also will understand it better. Yes, please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. All right. I want to call on Oluwashola Sasiri. I'm sorry if I didn't get the pronunciation right. Thank you.
It's fine. Thank you so much. Please, am I audible?
Yes.
Very well.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. And I want to say a very big thank you to Doctor for this wonderful presentation. I've gained a lot, and I believe that is the same for everyone. My questions are two. One, in the situation, just like the previous speaker indicated, I'm in the field of education, and I'm currently working on a topic that has to do with emotional intelligence and leadership. Previously, management of school and leadership has to do with how to manage resources, how people will follow rules and all that. But currently, things go beyond that. And to include the use of emotional intelligence in leadership and all that. So my question is, how can, it's similar to the previous question, how can this be commercialized? Then two, in a situation whereby one is working in a university setting, that the university will be the one, to patent if a product is coming up or a training is coming up on this. What would be the benefit? For example, if I choose to leave that institution and the products that I developed while with them has been patented, and now I'm no more with them. How do I, how do I continue to benefit from that? Because many universities will say this product belongs to this university, but it's my brainchild. So that is my first question. And my second question is, or it's not a question. I really think I'm happy for your last submission, that one can bring in an idea. I think we only have a handful of somebody like you in Nigeria, so a handful of you. In many universities, I did my first degree and second degree in Nigeria, and I realized that a lot of our professors, our supervisors, they only supervise us to publish. I'm sorry, not to publish, but to submit thesis to pass, not to ingrain in us the real essence of research. So, let alone crafting a topic or a research that can be connected to the industry. I think the foundation has to really be revisited. Thank you.
Thank you. Moderator.
Yes, let me call on another person so that we have 2 questions. Right? Is that okay, sir? Okay. Yusuf Taibat, please go ahead. Unmute yourself and ask your questions. All right. Maybe she's not there. All right. Paul Sunday Thomas, please ask your questions, sir. Or are you people muted?
All right.
Okay.
I want to really appreciate our facilitator for this inciting time with us. I was so much interested when I heard about this topic, because I go into a lot of research, but this was the area I was finding very difficult to bridge the gap. I'm a phytochemist, and I'm also into endomedicine as a pharmacognosist. I research in the area of phytochemistry and endomedicine. Yes, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. We are hearing you.
My research in the area of phytochemistry and endomedicine, where my aim as a pharmacist that I'm deal on pharmacognosy and natural medicine. My target, as far as my research is concerned, is to develop some herbal remedy that can complement the orthodox medicine in treatment of some of the dilemma that we have that orthodox medicine cannot really handle it very well. For example, pile and cancer, precisely prostate cancer. But while aiming at this, I also want to know if I'm able to develop one, which organization, which people after the patent, which people can I actually contact that may really pick interest in this herbal medicine when it comes to commercialization. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Yes, I'm done with my question.
Okay,
all right, thank you, sir.
Moderator.
Yes, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Please hold on, ma.
Okay.
Doctor, sir, will you like to answer those questions, or we have first everything?
No, let me just take this too, so that one will not lose the line of thought around it.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead,
So, responding to the first question, your education, you are working on emotional intelligence. It's a very powerful subject and research I can never think and imagine. Do you consider bringing into your research team those who specialize in artificial intelligence? You will need them. You will need also a software development experts. So 3 of you can patent your ideas to make money. Because if you understand emotional intelligence and you bring artificial intelligence into it, and those who can develop software that will marry these two together to solve problem, and you package it, you trademark it, you register it, believe you me, you will be stronger than Bill and Melinda Gates in terms of riches. Such type of product, you can license it to yourself and become, and leave the university system to go and face the money that is going to come out of it, depending on the way you develop the product to solve problem in society. The moment your product solve problems, that is it. And the same thing goes for our pharmacists who specialize in pharmacognosis. If you are able to identify the weeds, these weeds and leaf and roots are being used by Babalawo and all the juju people and whatever, which they put their God on. But God actually put power inside this leaf and roots. And you are able to identify the component of the root or leaf that will solve the problem of prostate cancer or whichever problem in the life of man. Then you are also into money. You patent it. The people you will meet after patent is Federal Ministry of Science and Innovation. Federal Ministry of Science, Innovation and Development. They are waiting for you. I gave the website inside my presentation. I've already shared with Dr. Wasani. We will send it across to all of you. So just log on to notab.com. They will take your product forward from there. But before you reach them, make sure that you have already licensed this thing to yourself. And we don't know why God has created you, whether it's because of this product that you are going to develop to solve humanity. But you are just looking at publish, I don't want to perish, publish, I don't want to perish, publish. And God wants you to be rich. And when you now get to heaven, imagine God just asks you, where is that vaccine that I asked you to develop from mahogany leaf? And you are looking, you are not able to answer God. So some of you have unlimited deposit of God resources in you to develop product that will throw you into millions. You will help the poor society. So you go back to your research and work on it, fine tune it, ensure that it's solving the products. Then finance is not your problem. Your problem is yourself, your ability to trust God, to trust yourself that you are able to do it. I think when I told the governor of Jigawa State that we are going to increase we will double the yield of tomato in their states, he didn't believe it. But when it's happening now, anytime His Excellency is having function, he will ask me to come and have a dinner party with him. So what creates that rapport? Why? Is because we have made a significant impact in our field of study. So please, don't say it is physics with water I study. Your physics with water can deliver a product that will solve problems. So I stop here. If there is anyone, next.
Very much, sir. We are so much grateful. There is a
Excuse
student.
me. Excuse me, madam, you called me.
Yeah, you were okay.
Zaibat Moji Yusuf.
Go ahead.
You muted me, so you could not hear me. I was
Oh,
talking, but you could not hear me.
sorry about that, please.
So I can just get
Go ahead
into
now.
it.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. By name, Professor T.M. Yusuf from Kwara State University. See, I wish to appreciate the age and the facilitator for this wonderful and impactful lecture. Honestly, the lecture came at a perfect time in my career. See, recently, I've been thinking of how to transform all my efforts in research to revenue. Unfortunately, this topic now came up. You see, I investigated the possibility of changing the use of inorganic fertilizer that has often be beyond the reach of the peasant farmers in terms of availability and high cost. So I investigated the possibility of changing the use of fertilizer to organic fertilizer using simple materials, simple farm materials that farmers can use and produce themselves with little or no expenses at all. So now I've discovered the solution. But how do I change this to revenue? So that is why I called. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. We are highly grateful. Doctor, please let me read a student question. It has been sent for the past 15 minutes. He said, I am a postgraduate student just getting introduced to academic research in crop protection. I would like to know how I can benefit and find industrial collaborator for my research as a young researcher. Thank you, sir. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me start with Professor T.M. Moji from KWASU, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. So, because I have example from KWASU, I'm going to share with you.
Okay, sir.
Whatever you people are doing there in that university is great, either in science and technology. You know, around 2019, I think 2018, 2017 through 2018, I came to that campus. I saw youth, students are flying drones in your campus. So I was just telling them, I say, wow. And then we are having problem in Kwara State of cow flani eating up our crops. So I challenge them with that information. Can you design a drone that can fly for like 6 hours to monitor farms in Kwara State when people are not there? The job of this drone is just to send a signal to the control units that the Fulani are already eating crop at this location, so that we can quickly mobilize those because most time before we reach to farms, they have eaten and have gone. So I believe Kwara youth, they took that challenge. I think they are doing something about it. So when such kind of effort has yielded into a product, you need to register it. Like now, you are looking at using inorganic source of fertilization. Then one thing I will want you to look at also is when you are developing the prototype, put industry concept in it, because industry wants to sponsor something they can commercialize. Take for example, if your fertilizer is 1 bottle per hectare or 10 bottles per hectare, they want to know the cost and how many hectare can these products reach that you are giving me? So if you're able to design the one that both the cost-wise, since you say it's cost-effective, but quantity-wise and efficacy-wise, you have to look into those quality. Once you ensure that that is there, I personally will be interested, because right there in Ilorin, our factory is there where we are manufacturing fish feeds, and we are using some of these soybean and maize coming around the Kwara State there. We have access to farmers in their thousands. It will not be a difficult thing for us to tell farmers to start buying your products. You can put in the trademark on it, and then we'll set up the company. And then just my company alone can help you to publicize it. In as much as it's working, everybody will want to buy it. So that's way to go at a local level. Then you can reach agreement with an investor who can make it in millions that he can go around the country. So, but at least you start from your own little Goshen, small area where you are, and see that it influences, and you are able to create more adaptation for your research. So that is what I just feel. So you first of all fit that technology into your agroecology there. And once you have done that, I can tell you that sky is just the starting point.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to have your phone number so that we can continue our discussion, sir.
Okay, they will give it to you. The students who wants collaboration, he's just into the research, he will need a collaboration. You first of all discuss with your supervisor. It depends on what you have carved out as your research area that will help us to know where your collaboration can come from. Take, for example, if you work in agricultural sector, and the sector of agriculture, and you work in my own value chain, maybe if you work in tomato, take for example, I am the right scientist you can collaborate with. If you say, I can develop a variety that will give me 100 tons per hectare, I will say, please work with me. This is what I have done. I'm only able to get 50. So if I'm working with you and we're able to get 100, I will resign from my place of work, and we join and form a team, and then we'll be making money into our bank. So collaboration, start first with your supervisor. Look at research area that your supervisor specialize on. Is from there, we'll be able to know which type of external collaboration that you will require for that research. So it's a good start. And I believe when you meet your supervisor, he or she will be able to guide you better. Many of them are here on this platform, and they are hearing me also. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We are indeed grateful for wonderful, insightful responses that we have gotten to our various questions. Our time was fast spent, and so maybe we can just have one more questions, because we have to round up this section on before 1:30. Thank you to everyone. So I call on Emmanuel. Okay.
My question was not attended to.
You've answered your question. We have answered your question.
No, let us know the question. Let us know it if it is not attended to. Sorry about that, please.
Oh, sorry, please.
You raised my hand for the past 45 minutes now.
So sorry, please.
Have you asked the question that we did not answer, or they have not allowed you to ask?
It was dropped on the chat box. It was read,
Okay.
but answered.
Okay, can you bring up the question, moderator?
Question. My name is Bonnie Alaneme. I'm a science communication specialist, the publisher of African Science and Tech Digest based in Abuja here. My question is, how best, as a researcher, to want to develop the best method to develop an investment profile that can convince a potential investor or a funder, because the language the investors understand is a profit,
Or
for any
perish.
to buy pick up your research finding, and invest on it. You must be convinced that yes, you must be sure of the cost of investment and return on investment. These are so do I need to go to an investment expert or industrial consultant or who that to enable me to put up that, because I've tried in the past. Currently, I'm working on cassava processing to bring out best quality of starch. I have some off-takers in the pharmaceutical industries. Also, I'm also working on Gary that can have at least 8 to 10 months shelf life. I'm working on it. So, and a lot of industries are interested, but they want to, on paper, be sure to give them an investment profile that, if they put XYZ Naira, that at the end of the day, they will lose out. That is one. Another one is, please, is a project I've been working for the past 7 years. As I said, as I'm a communication specialist, but I discovered one of the major problems we're having in this country in terms of research and development have to do with poor communication and poor commercialization strategy. So been trying to work on a compendium of all viable research findings from various research institutions. I've been going around to pick out. I've gone to advanced stage. So, but right now, I have talked to a number of institutions. For example, the Federal Ministry of Science, Technology, and Innovation. At the end of the day, they push me around here and there and all that. So, because this work, I just got inspiration from some Nigerians in diaspora who really want to invest in their country, in this country. They want to come back and invest. They have the money, but they don't know where to lay hand, to source raw materials, to source this and that and that. Because they said most of information, research information are scattered in various research institutions. So I now came up with this compendium. So right now I'm having challenges to know who I can partner with to make sure that this work comes to reality. So, doctor, please, I don't mind if you allow me. I don't mind to serve you, wash your clothes, and polish your shoe to help me out in this area. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay, thank you. Moderator, I think you are you are attaching that to one other question, right?
Yes, we are
Emmanuel,
to use this.
can I ask my question now, please?
Okay,
Very
one
simple
second,
one.
ma. Can your question
Yeah,
be
yeah,
okay,
very
one
simple
second,
question. Thank
please?
you. Yes, thank you very much, sir. My question is a simple one. I want to ask on GMO, genetically modified organisms, sir. Like a lot of issues, a lot of conspiracies around this. And since, sir, you are in the industry, I want to ask if you have an experience in this area of GMO. Is this something we should embrace as a country, or should we run away from it? Looking at some negative things that we have read about it in the literature. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Maybe the communication specialist. So let me just attend to your question so that we will not forget again. Anyway, that's on a light note. I want to just encourage you that the communication research in which you wanted to put up is a good approach to it. In research, one thing you should know is that before your research can be commercialized, product has to be developed. Before any research can be commercialized, product has to be developed. So if you want to come and work with me or collaborate with me, you can only work with me and collaborate with me to evaluate, to test. That's what I call beta tester. So I can be one of your beta tester of your research products. So if you have developed a good starch from cassava that no other person has, and you have been able to package Gary to last for 1 year, different from the expiring date of 6 months or whatever number of months, then we would like to test it. So the person you need to meet now are the better tester. Take it to the community where they are drinking gari, where they are making gari, whether to Eba or whatever they call it in different languages all over the world. And their feedback on that prototype is what will help the commercialization. No investor will put in his or her money on any product that he know he cannot make gain out of it. Please take note of this fact. That is a fact that you need to know. Now, to know whether a product will merit the commercialization standard or not, do I need to consult a business development expert? You don't need them, but you can bring them in as member of your research team. There's nothing wrong in it. But it's a simple, commonsensical things that if I develop a starch that is far, far better than any starch in Nigeria, and I give it to people, they have tested it, it speaks for itself. We did not consult any expert for our tasty tom, and you are eating it. I can tell you for free, about 88 people who are listening to me now here, at one time or the other, have taken tasty tom in their soup. They are taking our Derica tomato. They have taken our jollof mix. And if they are people who are eating rice, they have eaten our Mama Pride, Mama Choice, Mama Gold. So these are the people who are eating them are our beta tester. And then they have given us reply that your product is, those who are using our product, chicken feet and blue crown and eco float for fish, they have come to know that this material is better than any other feeds they can give to any. So if you develop something like that and you get to the better taster who are industrialists, they are the one that will put in their money. So at the point of putting in their money, you may likely now ask them that, okay, you are using my technology, my share will be 10%, or I'm selling this technology to you at this amount. Whatever you say, since there is nobody they can get it from, that is where your money will come from. I hope you get my point. So that is the way I think you can go. And then on the GMO, let me tell you, the conspiracy theory around GMO is everywhere globally. There is no empirical data that has confirmed that GMO will wound you when you eat it. We are only afraid because the platform they use, where they will cut out a particular gene and bring in another gene, and then the scientists are looking at that. If this gene is working in this plant or animal like this, take for example, cotton. Cotton is a plant that most of the cotton we are wearing is made up from the cotton plant, GMO cotton plants that have been genetically engineered against the insect, the cotton borer that used to destroy the cotton bollworm. We call them bollworm. So if you plant this cotton in any farm and bollworm attack it, the moment he eats that very sap from the cotton, he will die. And then there are hypotheses. Okay, if I now use that cotton, I make it a cloth, will I die? That is the questions that People are afraid, but we have been wearing. In fact, I can tell you all the cloth that is on your body that that are listening to me. If they are imported, they are from BT cotton. Because the cotton we are producing that are not BT in Nigeria is very few. Whether the cloth that we made out of it will not be able to serve one local government. And we have 774. Must we be working naked? You are using GMO material, but you never know. Many of you who are taking chocolates, you are eating GMO soya bean because those chocolates are not made in this country. Some of them come from America, and they use this genetically modified soya bean to make them. So in Nigeria, we have some GMO that have been released by National Biosafety. They have approved. They have been approved, and this include telomerase, and there's a GMO beans that it will reduce these insects that used to affect our beans, so that the yield will be able to be improved in our farms. So it has been approved, and they are producing it in the country. And those who are eating it have no issue at all. Besides, let me take you to medicine. Most of the medicine you are taking, they are made up of GMO. They have genotyped every human being, and they know what specific gene is expressing in your body that is causing certain ailment or deficiency. And then they use reverse genetics to reverse gene of a particular chemical, and they put it inside the tablet or capsule or the injection they give you, and they put it in your body that reverse the activity of that or disease-causing agents in your body. And you put it. Many of us have taken COVID vaccines in Nigeria. These COVID vaccines are genetically modified vaccines that they have looked at the genetics of COVID, and they understand the way they express, and they find out what will combat it in our bloodstream. And then they make it. The Zeneca, they made a lot of money out of it, and many other pharmaceutical companies. And it is all over the world. And we took it, we never complain. So, is conspiracy theory okay? Please take note of this. So, there is nothing, because before Nigerian Biosafety Department will release it, they have test run it, they have looked at the method by which it is being done, and it is difficult. It is difficult to prove that it has any effect. So my own take on this as a scientist is that GMO, there is no enough evidence to convince me globally that it will kill you when
Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate all your responses. Indeed, they are very, very insightful. Thank you very much, sir. I want to appreciate every one of us for joining this webinar. I want to believe we have a lot of takeaways, and at now, you now have a clearer understanding on how to leverage your research for revenue generation. We are very sorry we'll not be able to take any more questions because our time is fast spent. And so we'd like to round up. As I round up now, I really want to appreciate all the people that have made themselves available today. Distinguished scholars, professionals that are in the house. We are very much grateful. Appreciation also go to AGE, Academic Grant Writing Enclave. You know, they are a research-based institute that provide training and mentorship for aspiring and experienced researchers who want to improve their skills in academic and grant writings. So if you are interested, you can go to this website of AGE, and then you get their numbers. You can see all those trainings that you may want to join. And I want to encourage us, you can join any of the trainings. I am a testimony of one of their training classes, and I had an incredibly enriching experience participating in academic writers academic course that was conducted by AGE. The program was both educative and expository. So you can do well to join any of those classes, and you will discover that you will have a lot to learn. There are people that help us to learn, to teach people to learn and to write award-winning grants. You see, so you can please go to their website and then pick up any of those classes to join. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your audience and even for making it possible for you to be here. We are grateful. And my appreciation also goes to our facilitator, that is the person of Dr. Sangodele, Emmanuel Ademola, the Chief Agronomist and Seed System Specialist, Olam International, Kano State, Nigeria. We are much grateful, sir. All the participants, I'm highly grateful. Thank you for joining us. To this point, I would like to bring the webinar to a close. And so we can give ourselves thumbs up, claps, and whatever that we may like to appreciate ourselves with. Thank you so much and remain blessed.